The ability to think critically and show healthy skepticism is crucial for good decision making. This course helps build a mindset that questions claims, examines assumptions, seeks evidence, and stays open to new ideas. Cultivating healthy skepticism is a moral and ethical obligation that we owe ourselves and our society, especially with the rapid growth of artificial intelligence. To tackle this topic, here's what's on the agenda. We'll be looking at understanding the value of healthy skepticism, gaining a better understanding as well of what it is, the difference between skepticism and cynicism, the relationship between cynicism and conspiracy theories, and identifying reliable information sources. We'll also be looking at the benefits of healthy skepticism and how to intelligently consume information.
By the end of this course, you will understand the importance of a mindset that questions claims, examines assumptions, seeks evidence, and stays open to new ideas. Learn to recognize our cognitive biases that can affect our judgment, distinguish between skepticism and cynicism, and of course, learn how you can apply analytical skills in evaluating reliable sources. We would also learn how the ability to think critically and show healthy skepticism is crucial for good decision making, both for our personal and professional development. Some may see this objective as a no brainer, but when you see the proliferation of misinformation, it becomes clear that sifting through the noise of social media is not always as easy for some as we might like to imagine. For inspiration, here is the quote of the day. To get started, we'll begin with some rudimentary reflective prompts. Have your journals out? Feel free to pause the video and take a few minutes to reflect on these questions and write down your answers. Remember to be as honest with yourself as possible. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and share your responses in the comments below. What do you understand by healthy skepticism, and why is it important? What sources of information do you typically rely on, and how do you determine their credibility? Healthy skepticism is simply the process of scrutinizing information critically rather than accepting it at face value. How often do you find yourself researching a headline or information to see if it's true? With the proliferation of online content, social media, and rapid transfer of information, where sensationalism often overshadows facts, adopting a healthy skeptical attitude towards information consumption becomes imperative. To adopt healthy skepticism, we have to be open to change. This is not about rejecting everything you hear. It is a willingness to update your knowledge and beliefs based on new evidence. It is also about being able to scrutinize information. Here's a fact: for every information you receive, there is a good reason and a real reason. The good reason is what you're told, the real reason is what's your duty to find out. Before aligning yourself with an ideology, ensure that the real reason aligns with your values and beliefs. These two words are often used interchangeably in casual conversation, but skepticism and cynicism represent fundamentally different philosophical positions and attitudes towards knowledge, belief, and human behavior. Skepticism encourages a desire to learn. It promotes intellectual engagement and mental independence that helps to avoid groupthink, making us less prone to manipulations. It emphasizes questioning and critical examination of knowledge claims. It also encourages withholding judgment until sufficient evidence is presented. Cynicism, on the other hand, is a school of thought whose ideology was based on the belief that societal conventions and material possessions were corrupting influences on human nature. It assumes that self interest or malice drives the actions of humans and tends to feed on negativity. Cynics tend to dismiss ideals, aspirations, and integrity of others and encourages a general distrust of people's motives. So while we may have initially thought they were the same, there are fundamental differences between skepticism and cynicism, which centers on how both engage with knowledge and human behavior. For skeptics, questioning is constructive. It is aimed at enhancing understanding and promoting informed conclusions. While for the cynic, the approach is often dismissive of beliefs and intentions outright, interpreting the world through a lens of disillusionment. This attitude tends to feed conspiracy theories. So, take a moment to think about it. Would you consider yourself a cynic or a skeptic? Share your answers in the comments below. And furthermore, especially for the cynics, take a moment to also ask and answer the question why. Why do you have that outlook? Is it from a past experience, culture, belief, and so on? Who here remembers when Obama was the Antichrist and universal healthcare was just a ruse to implant chips in our brain? Misinformation during the COVID-19 pandemic distorted public health responses, fostering beliefs in unproven treatments and undermining preventative measures. It can lead to disconnect from communal and social services and activities, and also lead to an unwillingness to participate in public discourse, volunteerism, or collaborative ventures aimed at social improvement. It may even lead to isolation, where the cynic is convinced that their efforts are futile against self-serving nature of humanity. It may seem harmless on the surface, but cynicism can be a major drag in the quest for human development. During a recent US presidential election cycle, one of the candidates repeated a rumor that there were Haitian immigrants eating people's pets, giving credence to the allegation. This was then repeated several times by other members of his party. This led to bomb and death threats on the migrant population, prompting major news outlets to investigate the claims. The claim was soon found to be false, started out by a Facebook post which fed certain biases. This is where healthy skepticism comes into play, where we approach those kinds of information with caution before reacting. Healthy skepticism fosters critical thinking. It encourages exploration of multiple perspectives before forming opinions. We're better able to identify misinformation and more adept at reassessing and understanding, updating our beliefs in light of new evidence. Without conscious reflection, we may not always be able to tell when we're being skeptical or cynical. So, can you distinguish healthy skepticism and outright cynicism in your thinking? A further consequence of cynicism is how it feeds conspiracy theories by offering rather simplistic explanations for complex issues. Cynics tend to reduce nuance to digestible narratives or sound bites. We don't understand the engineering behind the Egyptian pyramids? Obviously, they were built by aliens. And who wants to explain the complexity of changes in weather when we can simply blame a tornado that devastates a community on shadow groups? Skepticism is also not immune from conspiracy theories. There is a saying that too much of a good thing is bad for you. A worldview steeped in skepticism gradually tilts cynical. Finally, cynicism can lead to poor decision making and choices led by angry emotions and sometimes fear. Due to misinformation, a lot of elderly people died unnecessarily from COVID-19. A greater number of autistic cases being recorded? Surely, this is the effect of vaccines being given. This unfortunate outlook has led to a rise in anti-vaccination movements, causing a resurgence in diseases such as measles. All of this can lead to negative outcomes when it comes to social problem solving and human development. To counter the negative effects of cynicism and conspiracy theories, it is vital for us to promote critical thinking and enhance media literacy. With all we have learned so far, how would you respond to persuasive arguments that contradict your viewpoints? And when presented with new ideas or claims, what steps do you take to evaluate their validity? And a bonus prompt for you: what role does evidence play in shaping your opinions? And do you seek out diverse perspectives to broaden your understanding? Take a moment to honestly reflect on these prompts. Feel free to pause the video and be intentional with your response. To identify reliable information sources, we must first consider several key factors, including authorship, credibility, objectivity, the quality of the evidence presented, publication reputation, and how current the information is. Like anything that has to do with acquisition of knowledge, it takes time, it takes patience. Determine the reliability of a source. The first step is evaluating the author's credentials. Reliable information is often created by individuals or institutions with expertise in the relevant field. Credible and reputable sources include scholarly journals, reputable news organizations, and governmental or educational websites. It is always best to ensure the reputability of a source before we accept the information or repost. Objectivity and bias. Reliable information often presents facts objectively rather than advocating for a particular agenda. Quality of evidence. Reliable sources often support their claims with empirical data, references to research, or case studies. Publication reputation. Established academic journals, recognized media outlets, and sometimes official government publications generally adhere to pretty strict editorial standards. Currency of information. Timeliness is another factor in assessing the reliability of information. In rapidly changing fields such as technology or medicine, outdated information can lead to misconceptions or poor decision making. Always check the publication date and the dates of source materials. Recent studies or articles are likely to provide the latest insights and developments, while older information may no longer be relevant. Can you think of a time you outsmarted or caught on to someone that was trying to take advantage of you? How did that make you feel? The benefits of healthy skepticism cannot be overstated. It promotes critical thinking. When we question assumptions and seek evidence, we develop a more nuanced understanding of issues, allowing us to avoid hasty conclusions. Skeptical individuals are less likely to be swayed by biases or emotional appeals, which leads to better decision making and outcomes in both personal and professional contexts. Healthy skepticism helps protect us against misinformation. It encourages us to verify facts and seek reliable sources, which reduces the likelihood of being misled. Seeking multiple perspectives helps us avoid echo chambers. By exposing ourselves to a range of viewpoints, it busts the information bubble we tend to live in. With resilience against manipulation, we remain vigilant against propaganda, advertising tactics, and misleading narratives and confirmation bias. And last but not least, personal growth. We can force ourselves to reassess our beliefs and values, facilitating growth and adaptability. There is a greater sense of mind and body wellness when we feel in control of our decisions. We are less defensive of our beliefs and our actions when they are grounded and driven by knowledge. Here's a mini prompt. How can you cultivate a mindset that embraces questioning while remaining open to new ideas? Here are some tips: active listening, mindfulness, and meditation. What others can you think of? Share with us in the comments below. What does it mean to consume information intelligently? This can be summed up as independence or freedom of thought. Not all information is created equal. Different outlets have unique motivations and standards that can significantly impact the reliability of the content they produce. To build a foundation for effective evaluation, we should consider these following factors. Remember, like anything we consume, moderation is key. First, understand the motive and bias of the source and the narrative that they may be pushing. You are less likely to be emotionally manipulated or controlled if you understand their angle. Don't be a passive consumer. Take control. Because the news is on 24/7 doesn't mean you have to listen on a loop. Take the time to tune it out. Find a hobby or some other interest to occupy your time. Add value to society. Be digitally literate. Read carefully before you respond or share posts you find online. Understand that AI summaries are not always accurate, as it simply aggregates information found on the internet, which can sometimes be wrong. If a topic or an issue is important or matters to you, take the time to find out more. We owe it to ourselves and the society we live in to not spread false information, which may cause harm to others. Aristotle once said, "The best thing about the Instagram is that you can make up a quote and assign it to anyone you want." It is because of this we must hang on to our independence of thought. There is a sense of pride and ownership that comes from the ability to control what we consume, how we consume, and the extent to which we allow it to affect us. Learn to ask questions and seek honest answers. Evaluate evidence. Look for bias before jumping on a bandwagon so you're not led by the nose. Practice humility. There is so much we still do not know. Engage in reflective thinking. If we're intentional in how we believe, there is less opportunity for us to be manipulated. Thank you for spending time with us today. You can find the full guide on our website, www.thereflectivehuman.com, that allows you to go through the reflective process at your own pace. Have a journal handy to answer the reflective prompts. This will help you track your growth and progress over time. It also contains further written materials and book recommendations that will help you enhance your reflective thinking journey. Links are also provided in the description box. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video and add your comments below. We are a nonprofit organization striving to bring this information to the public for free. Your donations help us continue that mission. We appreciate one-time donations, but a recurring one will go a long way to ensure our continuity. Join us next time as we discuss other topics for more purposeful approach to life. In the meantime, strive to remain curious, recognizing that our understanding of the world is constantly evolving. See you then.